What's the deal? Mm, man, man, and Cam and JCole is crazy. They they been trolling us the whole entire time. The whole time. Cam and JCole been trolling us the whole entire time. You know what I mean? They got a basically got an interview dropping tomorrow. Talks with talks with Flea, but they've been trolling us the whole time. They've been trolling the whole time. You know what I mean? Now I feel like that maybe that whole lawsuit situation wasn't even real. I had to go back and extract my comment that I made. I had spoke about it, spoke on it, and man, I seen a clip of their interview that they did on Cam's show, Talk with Flea. They've been trolling the whole time. I think they've been trolling the whole time. It don't even seem like it don't even seem like it's real. Like it was real in the first place. Maybe it was, and at some point they talked it out, but it was never. You know what I'm saying? It was never probably what we expect, what a lot of people expect it was to be, because it seemed like, and then maybe it was, and they worked things out, because that's a possibility. They could have just worked it out and said, look, this how we gonna do this. You gonna come in and you know what I mean, and you know basically interrupt the show. But I think they just been trolling the whole time. Um, and now it just make it like it just kind of make it seem like what's real now. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way that interview went the way it went. So that lets me know that they've been just trolling the whole time. I mean, um, it could have been this. It could have been something they spoke about. You know what I'm saying? It could have been something they spoke about. Like, yo, this how we gonna get the people. We gonna, make them believe that, it's a lawsuit and all of this and that. They could have really put that whole. They could have staged that whole play together and put that whole play together. Far as, we gonna make it seem like we gonna make it seem, or we gonna make it appear like, you know, it's really a real lawsuit. Because if you got a real, first of all, if there was a real lawsuit and somebody's suing you, you're not about to just be that friendly, unless you know what I'm saying, y'all worked something out. Y'all came to some type of agreement, because that was Camron's whole thing was, I did this for you, But you giving me the runaround about doing my podcast. You know what I'm saying? So things could have got worked out, but at the same time, it's like they could have been just trolling. I think they was just trolling the whole time, just to trick the people. You know what I mean? And nowadays, especially when you're an artist, well, a well-known artist, especially like Cam and JCole, you know, of course, it's easy to make, it's easy to get people to buy into what's going on. Meaning, like, we gonna put a play together, and they gonna feed right into it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just think that was just well orchestrated between them two. And like I said, if it wasn't, they had to really work out something because Cam was saying, he said multiple times that um, J. Cole, he wanted him to do his show, and he was giving him, the runaround or acting like, maybe he didn't really want to do it or he was too busy. But he finally came on to the show, talks with Flea, and man, it could have been. It could have been. It could have definitely been some trolling going on. Definitely could have been some trolling going on. Um, but I can't wait till the episode come out. It's dropping tomorrow on Camron's podcast, Talk with Flea. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like they're talking about some pretty um, interesting topics, far as what's going on, the whole how Kendrick and J. Cole situation, how he looked at that, and what I'm saying. I've seen a few clips and snippets of it, so it seemed like it's gonna be a pretty good dialogue. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like it's gonna be a pretty good dialogue, um, a pretty decent, interview. So I think, well, yeah, J. Cole just dropped that album, but like I said, I think it's gonna be a pretty decent interview for what it's worth, far as the topics they speaking on. So I think it's gonna be a pretty dope interview. You know what I mean? Um, and maybe they'll probably, who knows? Maybe they'll probably actually do some full songs together. Like, you know what I'm saying? I see Cam just did. I was looking at a video this morning of Cam. Uh, he just did a freestyle to "Wanna Be Started" something. Michael Jackson. He kind of remixed Michael Jackson "Wanna Be Started" something beat, and I think it's like a freestyle or allegedly a freestyle that he did to that beat. So I think he's trying to get back in, you know what I'm saying, the algorithm far as rapping, not doing podcasts, because, you know what I mean, he pretty much been doing this, for how it's been going, doing this thing with that. But I think he's trying to get back in the algorithm uh, far as rapping again. You know what I mean? Uh, the song was a pretty tight song. I think he dropped it about maybe like almost about 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. I think he dropped or should I say the video? I don't know. I'm quite sure it's on like Apple Music and stuff like that. But it's a pretty decent song for what it's worth. Um, you know, I think I think he should go ahead right now and drop an album. I think right now he should go ahead and I think right now Cam should go ahead and drop an album. You know what I mean? Especially while he been having this much motion. I think Cam needs to go ahead and put out an album, put out a project. You know what I mean? He has kind of been in the in the algorithm quite some time doing his show with Mace. Then he doing his own show with the talk with Flea with Sin City and stuff like that, and his name been in the air for a minute with the whole situation um with Jim Jones and stuff like that. I think like when your name is buzzing like this, how Cam's name's been, how his name been, like he already been had the recognition. We already know that, but it's all about what you're doing now. But I think he should go ahead and put out some type of project, maybe even a EP. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't really per se have to be uh, a whole full album. He could do an EP. You know, um, I think that'll be good for him though, as far as rapping. But I think Cam still really want to rap though, because we done seen him drop freestyles on his podcast. We done seen him, um, you know what I'm saying, do certain little shit. You know what I mean? So if you really truly, if he didn't really want to rap, he wouldn't even be even on that. But I think he, but that was the first thing he was doing that he was known for way before, way before podcasting was a thing or the cool thing to do or he, what I mean? He was a rapper. So, and he still is a rapper. But, it's just these last couple of years that he's been, you know what I'm saying? He been doing this thing with the whole podcast, you know, him putting Mace on there and stuff like that. But far as music, I think he should go ahead and drop music. I do. Um, Mano. Mano has been doing very, very well over the last past, what is it? Maybe about a week. Maybe been about a week or two. You know what I mean? He has created, of course, a new lane for himself as far as the podcast as well, doing podcasting with Jim Jones and Fabulous and stuff like that. Um, Davies. But I think he has created a new lane for himself, and all eyes is kind of on him. You know what I mean? Because everybody know what the rest of them is capable of. I think with Mano, a lot of people look kind of like, you know what I mean? Like the ones that be like the more or less fortunate rappers, or the ones people is not really paying attention to, or like that would be like Dave East and Mano. Mano been in the game for quite some time, and once again, he is somebody that the eyes is on him. You know what I'm saying? Far as doing the podcast, so what it would be. This is the perfect time to drop an album. This would be the perfect time even for him to drop an album when your name is buzzing. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you done been in the game for a long time. In the game, the whole rap game is totally different now. It's not like when he first started, and you know, it wasn't no YouTube. It was none of this. It wasn't no YouTube. It wasn't no. Um, it wasn't really even on social. I don't know. It wasn't really even on social media when Mano first started rapping. Only thing that was around probably at that time was like maybe still like MySpace and maybe like Facebook. But other than that, none of the platforms was around. YouTube, TikTok, none of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? None of it was around. Um, but I think he should go ahead and drop an album. You know, he been having his dealings, you know, his run-ins with 50, and you know, he just put out a pretty dope um, record with you know what I'm saying, the algorithm song. You know what I mean? I was hearing rumors part two supposed to drop again, so it's like this would be his best time to go put out an album. Seriously, like this would be the perfect time for him to drop an album right now. It would be, you know what I'm saying, because his name is really out there, and he done put himself out there. You know what I'm saying? It's everything is, you know what I'm saying. Nowadays, everything is set up by design. You know what I mean? So as long as your name is out there and your name is kind of buzzing, you almost kind of your name is almost like your name is pretty much your currency. So if your name is kind of ringing, you know what I'm saying, and you get the dropping songs here and there or videos, people 9 times out of 10 is gonna gravitate to that. So the best thing you could do is, especially when you're an entertainer or a rapper or something like that, the best thing for you to do is put out new music, far as new album. But I do see an album. Um, I do see an album coming from this. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think if as smart as he say he is, as talented he say he is, he would go ahead right now while he got some momentum, some real momentum, as far as with the music. He would go ahead and put out an album or even a 6 songs, 5 songs EP. You know what I mean? Like, or play it like, or I'm gonna drop an EP with like 4 songs, 5 songs, maybe even 6 songs, and then come sometime in April, or you know what I'm saying, or I'm gonna put out an album, or you know what I'm saying, drop an EP, and then the following week put out the full length version of the album. I think he should go ahead and do that. I think he should go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? I think he should go ahead and um put out a full body of work. Because if he was to put out a full body of work as of right now, I think a lot of people is gonna gravitate to it. I think a lot of people is gonna gravitate to it. Hands down, I think a lot of people is gonna gravitate to the music. Straight up, I think a lot of people are gonna gravitate to it because they're gonna know and they're gonna look like, well, damn, if you know what I'm saying, if people, especially if people, if you, this is my whole thing. You put out a single. He been in the game for like 20, 21 years or whatever, right? The song he put out, Algorithm, is a pretty decent song. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty good song. I think a lot of people is rocking with it more than they say they are. Then I just heard he supposed to be dropping Rumors Part 2. So while his name has been buzzing, even right before that, with the podcasting and all of the stuff, this would be his perfect time. This would be this would be the perfect time for him to put out an album. This would be the best time for him to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this would be the perfect time for him to drop an album. This would be the perfect time. Because after this run he's on, he might not get another good, strong run like that. Especially with how he's been having it so far. You know what I mean? Because he's already one of the type of rappers where, you know, far as his rap career, didn't do as probably, I'm quite sure, as good as he liked it to be. But I think right now, this would be his perfect time to drop an album. This would be the perfect time to drop an album. Like, the perfect time. The perfect time for him to drop an album. And to really flood, you know what I'm saying, the algorithm, you know what I'm saying, for him to really flood the algorithm with videos and stuff like that. Especially with Why You Hot. You know what I'm saying? Back then I used to see certain artists be, you know, catch a buzz, get some fire. But by the time they get ready, they done waited so long, by the time they get ready to put out an album or the album drop, people was like, they on to the next thing. The next artist or whatever artist that's been doing music that's 30, 40 times more known. You know what I'm saying? So I think he should just go ahead as of right now to work, and that's could be the cook up. You know, that's what he could be cooking up. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Because he's already about to put out another single. So for him to put out another single, which is Rumors 2, and then he just did Algorithm, he got to be cooking up an album. It's only right. It's only right. It's only right. I think, especially like I keep saying, while the eyes of the people is on him, he got to put out another album. Hands down. If he was really smart, as much as he say he is, and intelligent and all this and that, he definitely got to put out an album. I mean, that's just go far, you know, let's just go far as saying, like, he has to put out an album. I think even the few fans he have, I think they would like to see him put out an album, hands down. I think they will, you know what I mean, for the especially for the ones that's rocking with the song right now. You know what I mean? Now I think it would take him to do probably a couple of features though. I do believe it'd take him to get a couple of features. You know, of course, Jim Jones and um, Dave East and Fab. I mean, I can see them all doing a song together. You know, they kind of tied in. I can see them doing a song together, but people, especially with people like Ross, you know what I'm saying? People, he I think if he was to put out an album, he's definitely gonna need. He's definitely gonna need some features on them songs. So if Mano was to drop an album, he's definitely gonna need some features. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely gonna need some features. I don't think he's a well-rounded. I don't believe he's a well-rounded rapper MC that just drop an album by himself. But like I said, if he was smart, he would definitely go ahead and put on the album. Hands down. I think he should go ahead and just put an album out. Put it out. Put one out. You need to. You know what I mean? Don't wait until this is March. Don't wait until, say like June or July or even further down, because by then the buzz he got now is going to slowly go down. You know what I mean? It's slowly going to decrease. So if he was to put out an album right now, this is his. This would be his best time. This would be his. This would be his best time to put an album out right now. Straight up, this would be his best time to put out an album right now. Right now, this would be his best time. So if he's smart, he would go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? He would go ahead and make that happen. He would definitely go ahead and make that happen. Yeah, I think he need to. At least he would have one or two more songs he could perform. You know what I'm saying? He would have like one or two more songs that he could perform other than High Hater. You know what I'm saying? Other than High Hater, would be Algorithm and Rumors Part 2, Rumors 2. Once that drop, I think tomorrow actually. I think that comes out actually tomorrow. You know what I mean? But far as him putting on the album, man, no, going to drop that album, man. It's like almost 4 in the morning. I'm definitely gonna get back with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. I think I'm gonna actually go live when the whole talk with Flea, when they dropped that him and JCole pod. You know what I mean? Definitely try to get probably just a few hours of sleep. You know what I'm saying? But make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You feel me? And if you know better, you'll do better. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm out.